Kentucky's governor makes a major announcement in Floyd County about the Mountain Parkway expansion project. And the band director at one Kentucky school answers to sexual assault charges.
Plus, rain looks to return by tomorrow night and Thursday. Some of that could be a little bit heavy as well. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Governor Andy Beshear visited Floyd County today, announcing the final step of the Mountain Parkway expansion. Bizac Construction will lead the development for the 13-mile stretch of the Mountain Parkway that will span from Salyersville to Prestonsburg. Officials celebrated Wednesday at the Mountain Arts Center, saying it is a project that takes the people into consideration.
It's going to be a divided highway, interstate-like experience. Going to keep the current Mountain Parkway open while it's under construction. This is a huge win for the whole Commonwealth, but especially for Eastern Kentucky.
Once complete, the development finishes the more than 90-mile connection that first broke ground in 1963. A former high school band director answered to criminal charges today involving sexual allegations. Patrick Howard Brady was suspended in May, then fired last week. He's charged in a multi-count indictment on a variety of offenses in Anderson County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place in court and reaction in a town where high school band is very important.
Patrick Howard Brady and his attorney walked into the courtroom this morning where they quickly asked for more leniency as far as his bond is concerned, while concerned people in the courtroom looked on. It was shocking to many in the community when the director of the beloved Anderson County Band was indicted on numerous sexual-related offenses. There's been a lot of murmuring for months, then questions when the director was suspended in mid-May. Late last month came the revelation that Patrick Brady had been indicted.
I entered your appearance, Mr. Cole, as the attorney of record and entered a not guilty on your client's behalf.
Brady had been the director for several years for a band that's won several state championships. The band has been the pride of many in the community.
A couple of the band kids work as pages at the library. They're very dedicated. The parents are dedicated. You know, it's not just the kids that have to be dedicated, the adults as well.
The judge stated that she was going to leave the bond conditions exactly the same, and then Brady's attorney asked for more time before the next court appearance, but the judge declined to do that, saying that he needs to be back in court October 3rd. In Anderson County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The judge also ordered that Brady stay away from school grounds, children, and staff. The Anderson County school superintendent said that a termination letter was sent to Brady last week. The Housing Development Alliance's Housing Can't Wait initiative is in full effect as today organization leaders gather to give away their 12th home to a flood survivor. HDA Executive Director Scott McReynolds says because they knew funding from state and federal agencies would take a while, HDA and several other organizations started this campaign to speed up the process for those still in need.
So we were able to, with the help of the Foundation of Appalachian Kentucky and everybody who donated to that, and FAHI to get started because housing can't wait. So we actually started building houses a few months after the flood, and this is the 12th house that we finished.
McReynolds says none of these homes would be possible without those organizations and countless volunteers. Coming up at 6, we'll hear the story of the new homeowner and her difficult journey. Students across Kentucky are preparing to head back to the classroom. Faculty and staff from Hazard Independent Schools are taking a much-needed break from the classroom prep today, getting outside and spending the day together. Today was a staff fun day packed full of activities from kayaking to a cookout and cornhole tournament at Perry County Park. One staff member says they look forward to spending the day together each year.
It's just fun to spend time with, the staff members outside of school. A lot of times it's all work and no play, but it's fun to just spend time with everyone and get to see everyone's families outside of school and just have a fun day together.
Hazard Independent Schools start back on the 16th. For a full list of start back dates, check out the story on our website. WYMT's Olivia Calfee will have more on the Day of Fun later tonight.
Well, the weather not too bad on your Tuesday. Watching out for a few showers out there. Most of us are dry though right now. Here's a look from Buffalo Mountain. As you can see, we are dry, but looking at plenty of cloud cover, and that current temperature, thanks to the cloud cover, is below average in the lower 70s right now. But like I said, a few showers out there for this afternoon, especially pushing into Estill County right now. A first alert in Urban for a few showers not too far away. And also in Whitley County, some spotty sprinkles not too far away from Williamsburg, also I-75. And more spotty sprinkles in portions of Leslie County, also stretching into Knott County, Letcher County, also into portions of Southwest Virginia as well. Now, as we go into this evening, we are watching out for possibly a few showers. Most of us are dry, though, as drier air continues across the mountains. And those temperatures overnight are comfortable in the middle to lower 60s as you wake up on Wednesday. The first half of Wednesday looks dry, but we are watching out for some increased moisture and also increased rain chances by Wednesday night into Thursday. And some of the rain could be heavy overnight into Thursday morning. Those details and your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Kentucky was certainly not the only state to get hit by storms yesterday. Thousands of people along the mid-Atlantic are assessing damage, cleaning up, and waiting for the power to come back on following the nasty round of storms yesterday. CBS's Meg Oliver has the latest from Whitehall, Maryland.
Down utility poles are lining a stretch of Route 140 in Westminster, Maryland, after a storm ripped through the area. The poles came down like dominoes Monday, trapping 33 adults and 14 children in vehicles surrounded by live power lines.
Realizing those motors were trapped and would be there for some time, we made arrangements to provide water, throwing it into the vehicles to sustain them, while BG&E was en route to shut down, de-energize all the lines that were around the area.
Once the power was shut off, authorities say everyone was evacuated safely.
There were people who were stuck and stranded in cars who were able to sleep in their own beds last night. And that's because of the work of everybody who moved and our first responders.
Outside Baltimore, a huge tree sliced through the home of a couple in their 70s. Their son is grateful both made it out with just minor injuries.
Probably would have been killed. Like I said, somebody was looking out for them.
In Tennessee, the severe conditions snapped trees, ripped into this high school, and forced hundreds of people to evacuate this apartment complex.
And my power flickered, and at that point, I just grabbed him and we got in the bathtub.
Across the country, more than 8,400 flights were delayed and more than 1,700 canceled as thunderstorms forced ground stops at major airports along the East Coast. While cleanup is just beginning, travel disruptions are getting back to normal and power outages have reduced significantly along the East Coast. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Whitehall, Maryland.
And unfortunately, the storms are blamed for at least 2 deaths. One person was struck by lightning in Alabama, and the other was hit by a falling tree in South Carolina. Officials with the National Weather Service say the first August EF2 tornado touched down in Knox County, Tennessee since 1950 during yesterday's storms. Well, that storm system also caused flight delays at Atlanta's airport, which lasted into today. Rebecca Schramm at our sister station in Atlanta has more on that.
If you have ever been stranded at an airport because of a canceled flight, you can probably feel the pain of these folks. Take a look. We're seeing up above on the space overlooking the atrium, a lot of people sleeping. It is a little quieter up there than it is down here. Now take a look at some video we shot of the departure boards this morning. You can see some of those canceled flights because of Monday's strong storm that produced lightning, hail, downpours from Maryland down to Alabama. I was talking with a family from the Chicago area. They have 2 young children and they're trying to get to Las Vegas, but after their original flight was canceled, they ended up here in Atlanta for a layover. They're going on no sleep and they're trying to pass the time.
We were watching Toy Story, but we're also waiting for all of the flight cancellations from our airline.
We're doing our best to have fun and make the best out of it. We try to be a fun family, so we're just going to make the best of it, try not to complain too much, and that's all we can do. These guys are doing so amazing. I am so proud of my family right now.
That's a good attitude to have. Of course, it's always a risk when you travel by air. You're really at the mercy of Mother Nature. At Hartsville-Jackson, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Well, in Vermont, flood recovery has entered its third week. Communities there continue to dig out and clean up. Their state emergency crews are still inspecting homes, businesses, roads, bridges, and dams.
After we get through this phase, heading into the fall, we need to be at a point where the conversation is more about recovery, mitigation work, and revitalization.
Officials say 10,000 acres of farmland is ruined. Farmers will need to report losses through FEMA and through the Federal Farm Service Agency. Coming up on First at 4, an agreement is in place to sell a major book publisher for a hefty price tag.
Plus, we are tracking spotty showers across the mountains right now, but higher rain chances on the way. Those details coming up next.